One thing that Vexil does well is create an interesting world. Japan has become a wasteland, ruled by Jags. Everyone in the country has been forced to become androids. They're doomed to lose their minds and become slaves for Daiwa Heavy Industries, the evil company behind the country's transformation. Daiwa has managed to keep their actions a secret from the rest of the world for the past 10 years via
high-tech isolationism.
And America is dependent upon the robots that Daiwa and its slaves produce. But the most interesting aspect of this movie is the one that's talked about the least. Humans spend more time interacting with machines and their computers than they do with each other. In a way, they've lost their humanity. Perhaps this is part of the reason why they've grown to hate machines.
I hate these damn machines.
Damn computers.
Meanwhile, the androids of Japan are more alive than the humans are. Of course, it's pretty easy to make something more lively than business meetings and death. A bustling marketplace is infinitely more alive than Captain Borg furrowing his brow in a dark room. Even though the characters don't talk about their loss of humanity often, this theme is present in nearly every character, most especially the protagonist. Vexil's character is largely a mystery to me, in that she doesn't act like any normal person would. The first thing we see her do is blow bubbles before a dangerous mission. This suggests that she's a jokester. She doesn't take her job seriously, or perhaps she's relaxed. For the rest of the movie, however, she takes her job seriously, freaks out about everything, and yells at everyone. Perhaps I just can't relate to yelling at the nearest person as soon as anything goes wrong, but even Vexil seems confused by her strange behavior, often dwindling off into awkward silence when she realizes what she's been shouting about.
Why didn't you tell me that you were in Japan?
I never really had a chance.
Her romantic relationship with Leon is also perplexing. Vexil's major motivation for fighting Daiwa Heavy Industries is to rescue Leon from the company's grasp. This suggests that Vexil loves him enough to risk her life for him. The movie, however, never shows Vexil giving Leon any affection. Ever. On 5 occasions, Leon touches her. He jumps on her to protect her when a building explodes. He hugs her and apologizes when she shouts at him for no reason. He pulls her to safety to prevent her from doing something stupid. He touches her shoulder with concern after a helicopter explodes on top of her, and he holds her comfortingly after the genocide of the Japanese people. On all these occasions, Vexil doesn't touch him back. Sure, Vexil looks at him when his back is turned, and they make eye contact 3 times, but film is a visual medium, and a look from Vexil could mean anything. I like that ass. I like that knife. God, you're ugly. Vexil spends most of the movie obsessing over rescuing Leon. As soon as he's freed, though, she ceases to give a crap about him and goes running after the bad guy she just met. For all we know, Leon is already dead, or he could be scarred from whatever he's been through in the past few days, or he could have minutes left to live. And she just runs off. She leaves him to Maria, Leon's previous lover, who was tragically separated from him years ago. Maria is an android, technically less human than Vexil is, but she actually shows Leon some affection. As soon as Leon reaches Vexil, though, he casts Maria aside and runs to her. Vexil hasn't seen Leon for days, and even thought he was dead, but the first thing she says to him is,
Vexil.
Where's Maria?
Vexil is more affected by the deaths of 2 androids she just met than she is by Leon's presence. And yes, I'm certain these people are supposed to be in a romantic relationship. One scene takes place in assumedly Vexil and Leon's apartment. Here we see both of them naked and in bed. When Vexil gets up, she seems to know where she is, which suggests that they didn't get drunk the night before and do it on a whim. Even in this scene, we don't see Vexil interacting with Leon though. Leon blindly loves Vexil, even though she gives him no reason to, and Maria acts more human than both of them by being appropriately shocked and hurt. Is this the product of genius script writing? as much as I'd like it to be. Probably not, for two reasons. First, this theme isn't applied consistently. For example, Vexel's human friend, Zack, explodes right in front of her. This is a friend she ignored when he was obviously injured earlier in the movie. She responds to his death with the same level of emotion that she does for the deaths of her android friends. This suggests that she only really cares about people, not when they're machines, but when they're dead. Second, the characters never strive to change their questionable actions or behaviors, or even recognize them. The problem is that, for me at least, this loss of humanity is by far the most interesting aspect, and by not exploiting it, this film comes off like a B horror movie. All the characters are assholes, and by the end, everyone is dead or mentally scarred. If humans work toward caring about others within the course of this movie, it could do loads for creating an emotional attachment between the audience and all these dead people. As it is, Vexel does most of the work in telling us how we should feel. And I don't know about you, but I can't understand her, let alone feel her pain. Imagine if, in the short time Leon and Maria spend together, Leon recognizes what he's missing in his relationship with Vexel. Imagine if Vexel were more affected by Zack's death and realized she should cherish her time with Leon. Imagine if Vexel's experience with the androids inspired her to become more human. Maria's death might affect the audience, Vexel's reunion with Leon might be rewarding, and the extermination of the Japanese race might mean something. Vexel's interesting world might have something more than dead characters in it. Talk to you next time.
Maria and her people were wiped out. But what they did, their sacrifice, it won't be forgotten.